Hey everyone, thanks for tuning back in the High Voltage Diesel. And before we get into the video, I kind of just want to share something real quick. There's big power lines here. So where I grew up is right over there. And that's where one of my garages still are, actually. And over the years as a child, I became obsessed with these power towers. I believe these things are like 250 feet tall. The bigger ones are 750,000 volts or something like that, 500,000. Anyway, I became really obsessed with these towers and always thought they were cool. If you watch my channel, you'll see that I've made models of these, stuff like that. Since my garage is basically right across the street over here, that's where I grew up, one of my garages. It's kind of how I came up with the name High Voltage Diesel. I always thought these things were so cool. But anyway, so today's video is going to be about some childhood memories of mine. And I thought that I would bring you guys along and share, because this is a really important trip to me that I'm making today. So when I was a kid, there's probably 400 acres of land around me. When I was a kid, I grew up in these woods. I used to work for the farmer that owned all this property. He was basically like a grandfather to me. Most of my grandparents died at a young age, and he kind of took me in. And anyway, I worked for him for quite a few years on dairy farm, and he basically said, you could do whatever you want in my woods, just don't get hurt. That's exactly what he told me. I built forts back here. I just basically lived here through my whole childhood. Hiked, camped, forts, just everything you can possibly imagine as a kid. I had such a good childhood as far as the guy letting me do this. And today, so last time I was back in these woods was probably 15 to 17 years ago, and I haven't been back here since. And every year I always said I always want to go in these woods again. I always wanted to see what my forts looked like all these years later that I used to build and hang out and stuff as a kid. And I'm just so curious. So I went over and asked the current owner for permission to come back here, and he said, have at it. And I've always been wanting to do it this time of the year because it's cool, it's dry, there's not a whole ton of, the prickers and stuff are starting to die off. But I want to do it before hunting season, because a lot of the adjacent properties are owned by people that hunt, and they trespass, and you get that stuff everywhere. But I wanted to be out of the line of fire for all the trigger happy cowboys out there, basically, to say the least. So here we are, kind of the last day of nice weather here. Beautiful day to do this. So this really means a lot to me to come out here, and well, let's see what we got. Bring you guys along for the trip, and we'll see if anything's left of these forts, and I'll share some of the places I used to go to when I was a kid and some of the stuff I used to do. And for sure, I'm gonna take a nice walk here. Here we are coming up on this monster. That thing is massive. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to hang out underneath this thing. A lot of memories here. It's cool, you can hear it hum certain times. A lot of stuff has changed though. This used to be a lot more surrounded with trees and stuff like that. Really cool though. Big like hawk's nest up there or something. Super cool. You used to hang out right over here. Used to have like a little fire pit set up somewhere's over here. Used to camp out. No fort built here though, just kind of a hangout spot. We have to go this way. It's gonna be fun. The farmer I used to work for, it's a dairy farm. He used to keep all this stuff mowed down. That was actually, the plan was to actually for me to take ownership of this property, but he kind of unexpectedly passed away before I got old enough to, you know, basically take a loan out and buy the property from him. He unexpectedly passed away, and his family basically just sold it off after that, and I never got a chance. But at the other side of it, central New York here, dairy farm market isn't really doing that well, so probably good that I didn't. But all I can take is the memories, I guess. Current owner was super nice, and I'm very thankful that he let me come back here and basically let me wander around for the entire day, as long as I want to. Years ago, this used to be logged, and the logging trail actually came through here. That's what we're on right now. No logging trail here anymore. Just in case I don't mention it anywhere else in the video, I already did, but most of what I'm going to be talking about is 20 plus years ago. Probably the minimum of 23 years ago. So 23 years ago, I used to dominate these woods, man. What a treat. I'm so happy. This is really cool. There's the property line there of the other farm. Right up in here somewhere is one of the forts I built. It was like a teepee style thing. I just can't remember exactly where it is. I'm not gonna lie, guys, this video is gonna be super long and boring because I'm not gonna edit any of this stuff. I am just going to upload what I upload, because chances are this is probably one of the last times I'm ever gonna come out here, you know, just because life happens, and I want to be able to sit down in another 24 years and watch this. The owner said that I can actually come out here anytime I want, just let them know so they know I'm back here. But it's just a time thing. I could have came back here way before this. Just life happens, you know. Just don't have the time. I don't know for sure, but one of these trees, I want to say that one or that one, I had a whole bunch of pieces of wood going around it, and it was like a teepee kind of thing. That was the first fort I ever made. All that wood is long rotted away, and he says they've actually done a lot of work in here with machinery anyway, so there's a chance that a lot of that got taken out, but I'm pretty sure that was the tree right there. Keep on going this way. I remember this was a lot more dense. See, when you're younger, everything seems a lot bigger. Actually, when I say about 15 years ago I was in here, that was just actually the guy that bought the place when he first moved in. I actually kind of brought him back here because there was actually everyone said that, man, nobody knows those woods better than Curtis. I was like the Rambo of these woods, people used to call me. Curtis, if there's anybody that knows these woods, Curtis knows these woods better than anybody. I'm pretty sure that was the tree up there that teepee thing was under I made. You know, when you're a kid though, going through this stuff, it looks really big. Then when you're an adult, especially after doing years of logging, when you're an adult, things are just things aren't as big and exciting anymore. Now this is just a regular walk through the woods. See if I can find my other forts. Definitely a lot of prickers through here. Burdocks. Some of this could be challenging to get through. Alright, so you'll see right straight ahead that house. So that's the house I grew up in, and that's still the house that I have my garage at. Where my duster is that I work on a lot of stuff. That's where the old duster is in my garage there. So obviously we're not too far away, but it ain't like this is a 4-hour drive or anything where I used to hang out. It's just simply just across the street. But to me it means a lot. Now, there's some pretty challenging prickers to get through. Yeah, there's where I grew up, so it was just a simple hike across the road. Another power line trail I used to follow. Goes way back there, but this all used to be much more maintained. That, and I had more energy to trample through this stuff. Alright, late fall would be the best time to come through here, but this is kind of my perfect time. I want to come out here before hunting season starts. And the people that own this property hunt too, so I don't want to disturb anyone. I know hunting season goes all the way up to, I don't know, I'm not a hunter, but I think it goes all the way up to like December. And after that, depending on the winters we have, it could get really, really, really muddy in here. So it's kind of, it's either now or the spring. And the spring is muddy too. By the time the mud dries up, the weeds grow up. So you're kind of no winning really. All right. Okay. Now that we made it through, my other fort is going to be back in here somewhere. I'm not really sure yet. Oh, I want to sit back in here. I have to keep an eye out and look all the way around because I really don't know exactly where it's going to be. But I do remember you go through that trail and there was like almost like a clearing, and then you went back, and then it was where the hemlock trees were. We're coming up on hemlock trees, so bound to run into something. There was an old metal thing that I brought back here that used for fires, so I can imagine that would probably still be back here. I'll go that way because there's nothing but prickers in here. We're getting hot, I know that. I actually think this is it. Yeah. This is actually it right here. I think so. Yep. This is it, guys. No way. Wow. This is it. You're asking yourself, what's it? So, let me see. This tree, that tree, that tree, and that tree were the perimeter. And what I did is I basically logged these woods. I pretty much took cables and chains and put it over my back, my shoulder, and I had one of those saws from Herb Phillipson's or something. I got it from back in the day, and I cut down I don't know how many hundreds of saplings and built a really nice log cabin. Probably, I mean, realistically it was probably only this high, 4 feet, but when you're a kid it seemed like it was that high. And built a log cabin, packed it with mud and everything, and then the roof, I'd built like a peak roof. That tree actually wasn't there. It looks like a beech tree. That wasn't there. That was, so there you go. That tree's been there a while. And that tree, I remember that small tree, I believe that was pretty healthy. Oh, no way. And look at, I just happened to notice this. Here's the metal pot that I had back here. No way. And this was actually solid. I brought this metal pot all the way from a junkyard that's like a mile or so through the woods. A junk pile that I found. And how heavy is it now? It's still darn heavy. It was a lot more heavy when I was younger though. I don't know what that is, but that was the fire pit. That was a fire pit. I have no idea what this thing is. It almost looks like something you would have put on a wood stove, and hot air would have went through it. I should see if I can get this like a souvenir to me, but that was solid. That was actually in really solid shape back then, and that's pretty heavy steel. It's pretty roach, so that looks like part of the roof here. All these logs are all rotted right into the ground. Anyway, and that pot, I don't know why it's there. Could be there for a different reason, but the fire pit, see, this was the door. This was the door you go in, and you went in here. This tree wasn't here, but the door was right here. You'd go in the door, it'd be the wall, and then I had a ceiling that went between. All this brush, that's all brush from a tree that fell. Because that, yeah, look at this. The wall isn't even here anymore. But he said they came back here with tractors. He actually knew right where my fort was. He's like, oh yeah, because, you know, this was still 15 years ago when I came here. It was just about, you couldn't find it. And now it's like, there's probably still, what I did is I nailed these into the trees. I'm actually really surprised that you can't see any nails. Yeah, this is really exciting. Really, really exciting. Yeah. I mean, these trees don't even look like they're that old. They don't look like they've really changed. Yeah. Yeah, there's a pile of the lumber that I cut down. Oh, that's right. I remember now. Yes, so I had the main building, and then just about the time I basically stopped being a kid, I built an addition on this, like a lean-to. I built like a wall, and then I had pieces coming out. So that's what these are. This was for the roof structure. Yep. So that's why those are still there, because this was probably built 2 or 3 years after the main fort was built. So that's why those, yeah, those basically a lean-to that I put stuff on, and then that was the main building there. So I don't know why I picked this spot, but you can see it's rather peaceful back here. So man, I just loved it. But anyway, yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah, everything rots away eventually. You'd see that, you'd never know that there was anything here. So, all right, well, time to leave the fort. And this is so nice back here. This is why I used to hang out back here. It's just beautiful. I remember most of those logs that I hauled from that fort came from back in there. There's a ravine there. I used to come up through that. I remembered when I was younger, I used to pretend I was a log skidder, basically. The guy actually logged this years ago. This is actually the old trail. I believe that's actually why, part of the reason I built that there, but I remember I used to see him over there with the log skidder, and I was so obsessed with that thing. What is that? What is that? What is that thing over there? And my dad, you know, that's a log skidder. And man, a farmer I worked for at the time, he was hesitant because it was dangerous and I was a kid, but he got the guy that was logging the place and asked him, hey, is it okay if he can come back here and watch you? And the logger actually said, yeah. And it was somewheres up through here. He says, yep, you can come back here and watch me, but I want you to stay right in this spot and don't ever move, because, you know, now that I've been logging and see what it's like, you know, something can happen. And it was nice of him. He let me stand right over, I don't even know where it was, somewhere's back here. Yeah, you can watch me go through, just make sure you stay there so I know where you're at. And I watched him go back and forth and watched him from a distance cutting trees down. And that log skidder, yeah, there's the trail actually. Come right through here, go up there. This creek, I don't ever remember being this deep. But we've had a lot of nasty weather the last few years, so. But he had a lot of slash in here too from the log skidder. That's right, he went up that way and that way. I believe when I was younger, I followed his trail when he wasn't working, and he went out. This was a big, huge circle he went up through. So I got a lot of ground to cover today, because it gets dark early now, and I really like to take some time and spend back here, but we got to keep covering ground, because also across the street I used to hang out. So the fort that I just showed you and the other one that I thought was where it used to be, I had 3 forts. The other one I put together with basically brush and ferns and mud, and I ain't even gonna try to find that, because that ain't gonna happen. So my fort is basically right across that way. I used to come on this ravine. And I tell you what, when I was a kid, this used to be a major hike to come through here. Now it's just 20 steps. Show you another spot I used to hang out, camp out at all the time. I would love to own this land. It was always my dream to own this land. This is so cool back here. I don't know why. It's different than other woods. Right, because there's memories in it that you can't replace. A lot of memories back here. A lot of good memories. And this used to be like a roadway down in here. I actually used to bring my bicycle back here, and my parents used to come back here, walk the dogs back in here and stuff. Loved it. And look at that. Somebody had the same idea. Wanna know why? Because right here is the other spot that I used to hang out. I actually spent more time here than I did at my actual other fort. Because look at it, you're up. You can see everything. You're up so much higher than anything. Right in this area, right here, this whole area right here. You're at the top of this. This is where this ravine thing, the peak of it stops, and it goes downhill again. But it's just endless. Yeah, right there. It might have even been on that ledge. Right in here by these trees. Fire after fire after fire. Just had campfires back in here. Spent the night. Really not that far off from home either. I loved it because you could see everything. Yeah. I explored these, every square foot of these woods I've been, literally. Yes, I went between that tree, that tree, that tree. I mean, I've been everywhere in here, one time or another. When I say I lived over here, that wasn't a false statement. Lived in these woods. Metal thing, if you go like that way, pretty good hike. There's a huge junk pile. I believe that part of the property took ownership to someone else. And we used to be. So I don't have permission to go over there, so I guess I won't. That junk pile might actually be gone anyway. I don't even know if I could find it. That was basically where that thing came from, so I had to carry that thing all the way through here. Just thinking about that now is like, yeah, okay. So what a treat though. What a treat. Go this way. Might be easier to get over to the other side. So the landowner actually told me that the company that owns these power line towers are actually coming through and clearing around them for whatever reason. These woods are just so cool. I remember these being like this too. So I guess that's what this mini excavator is. I would actually like getting into that line of work, clearing around power line towers, because this is actually an outside company, they said. I don't know what kind of qualifications you need to have, but seeing as how I'm obsessed with these towers and I think they're the coolest thing in the world, it'd be pretty cool to, I don't want to work on them, but it'd be cool to do land clearing around them. I always remember this being pretty much like this too. I remember there being like a nice roadway through here, which is really cool. Used to walk down this roadway all the time. Ride my bike up and down here. What a nice spot to hang out. This is so cool. I remember every few years, this was years ago, they used to come up through here and spray everything with some kind of weed killer stuff, and I remember it used to kill all these trees and the grass and everything. It used to be like just dead every few years. I can't remember how they did it, if they did it well with a helicopter or they did it with some kind of off-road vehicle, but I know they haven't done that in a long time, probably because of, you know, environmental stuff. a lot of that stuff has changed big time in the past many years. But I remember that spot down there where we just were. That was just a nice, on a beautiful day, that's where you'd want to be, just hanging out. This is the same old thing though. I'd love to hang out there today. But again, we got ground to cover, man. It's supposed to be the last nice day for a while. It won't be too fun coming back here in the rain. We got a lot of ground to cover yet. That would be really cool to work for the company, or actually not work for the company, but get subcontracted what this guy's doing. I might come over and try to talk to this guy, actually. See how I might be able to get my foot in the door, because man, that would be really cool to get contracted in somehow to clean up around these things. A lot of people don't like these. I mean, how else are you gonna get power to millions of people? Let's look at how big these are though. Man, that is just one massive piece of iron right there. The weight, the amount of weight that these things carry is just unbearable. Just amazing. Looks like they actually I just realized that that's all new. They welded that. I bet you these bolts rusted or something happened, and they had to, I don't know why that ain't bolted. It's welded. They came back here and painted them and stuff. Huh. Yeah, that's all replaced. Neat. I'm sure you'd probably need some kind of qualification or something to work next to high voltage lines though. Just ain't gonna let anybody do that. Probably going to be a lot less talking through the rest of this video. It's really the key parts we already really seen, my fort, stuff like that. But the whole rest of this property, I mean, probably within every 1,000 square foot piece of this forest, I probably sat down and chilled here one time or another. So it all means something. I'm basically just going the way we came in now, because to get to the other side of the road, it looks like it's going to be much easier to go into that property where we came in over here. And that property back there is way bigger than it is over here. This is nothing compared to that. Fort is over that way. back in. So I kind of remember this trail. So a lot of this was logged out years ago. I was probably 8 years old when this got logged out. 33 now. A long time ago. Here we go again, Pricker Alley, going the opposite way we came. I used to go all the way down to that last tower you see. You see the wooden cross one, then there's one more past that. That's like an actual four-legged thing. The rest of these are two-legged. The reason they use the four-legged ones is when they got to go around a turn or something. When they got to make an angle, they're much more rigid to the ground. And this is a pain getting through here. Oh. Ouch. I actually used to have a machete when I was younger. I remember I made a path through here once. And this was mowed down a lot more. The farmer used to bring the brush hog through here once a year. Just knock all this crap down, because this was, a lot of this was fenced in so the cows could roam around. Man. Oh, this is thick. Go this way a little bit. Ow, that hurts. Man. I don't want to dress too heavy today because it's kind of warm. I knew I was going to be working my body more than usual. It happens, you get a little older and you don't work as much anymore and you're not used to it. I used to drag 5 or 6 logs through this crap. Then it used to snow a lot more too, so then it would snow on it. How I did it, that and bike rides. When I took a bike ride, I took a bike ride. I mean, I was like a whole day bike ride. I went 20 miles in one day. I was only stopping once or twice too. Good luck with that. All the younger guys out there that are much younger than me, make sure you take advantage of younger years and do the things you want to do. It doesn't get any easier. I can tell you that right now. It does not get any easier. Whew, working up the sweat. Alright. Tractors are hay in the field. That's a familiar sound. Putting silage in a barn up there. That's the tractor running the blower to blow the silage in the silo. That farmer there, I used to go all over his land too, and he was friends with all the farmers around here were friends, knew them all, but he passed away. He lived to be pretty old. He was probably in his 90s when he passed away. And actually he passed away, and his grandkids actually, I don't know who owns it, but I'm sure grandkids do, but grandkids are still running the farm. Still in the family. This farm here just got sold off to a new owner. Basically his soon as he passed away, the new owner bought it up and all that. There's some rants that I have about this particular deal, but it's a positive video. We're having fun today. You know, something about the past is it is what it is. Things happen, and that's just the way it goes down. Can't go back and change things. I can go on a rant about just about anything, but it's not today's goal. Save that for another video. Yeah, there's my parents' house down there again, where my garage is. First time I ever drove a tractor was in this field. Way down there. He used to make a manure pile every winter. And you know, when I started working for him, basically it wasn't working for him at the time, it was basically hanging out. But I helped him, it wasn't like a job. I was his right-hand man. He'd make a manure pile. And I wasn't quite old enough. He didn't want me driving the tractors yet. But then when I got older, every winter he'd make a manure pile there because this was always too muddy. And then in the spring, he would load the manure in the spreader and spread it in this field. Every year. And the one year, I used to ride with him on the tractor. Every time, I gotta keep moving here because we're burning daylight. Talk as I walk. Finally, one year, I was old enough to drive. I used to ride with him. Everywhere he went in a tractor, I was always sitting on the fender. All he had was Internationals. He had a 1066, 806, 656. My favorite one he had was a Hydro 100. And that had the canopy on the top. And that was my favorite one that he had. And one time he climbed up there, he loaded the tractor up with manure, the manure spreader on the back, and climbed up there he says, nope, you can go ahead and get in the driver's seat. Well, I was so happy and so shocked. I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe him when he said I can get in the driver's seat. Yep, get right over there. He goes. So the first time I ever drove a tractor, I was in the driver's seat, he was on the fender. He showed me all the controls. The throttle was on the steering column. We were way down there, and he says, see that tower right there? The muffler that stuck up out of the hood. He says, line that muffler up with that tower up there and just go straight. Keep it lined up. Just like you're sighting a gun or something. Went all the way up the field and turned around, and then he said, you know, now line your sight and your muffler up with that tower, and went up and down, and we did that a couple times till he was confident that I wasn't going to fall off the tractor, get run over. And before you know it, he was loading up the manure spreader with the bucket tractor, and I was spreading manure on this field. And then it became that way every year until he passed away. And it wasn't just this, it was, you know, after he got, you know, to trust me on the tractor, I drove tractor everywhere. And that was just the funnest thing in the world. I wouldn't take my younger years and trade them for anything. We all come from somewheres, and darn it, I'm super thankful for my parents and all the old timers. You know, my parents were nice enough to let me hang around with them and let them take me under their wing and teach me this stuff. You know, wouldn't trade it for nothing. All right, now we're crossing the road into the other. There's probably 400 acres back here. They own both sides of the road. I've always loved this view. It's my parents' house right there. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm really into powered parachutes and powered paragliding, paramotors. So, family friend actually, he still does. Way down, you can actually see his house if you know where to look, but way down on the other side of the valley there actually has an airport. He used to launch powered parachutes, paramotors, all that stuff, and every year, actually around this time of the year, September-ish, he'd have a fly-in, and I used to sit up here with my toy powered parachute, of course, and pretend that I was flying, and those guys were flying over, and you could see them flying everywhere in the entire valley. They'd fly right over here, and one day we used to go to the party every year, but in the morning, because it was an all weekend thing, and we'd just go one day. One day I'd sit up here and just watch them, and the first or second year we went, he offered to take me flying with him, and I went flying right over to the spot where I watch them and play, and went flying over here in a powered parachute. Not a paramotor, there's a difference. But yeah, powered parachute. Flew around here, flew over my house, flew over the valley. Ever since that day, I wanted one really bad. I always said I'm gonna get one of them things. Someday I'm gonna get one. Still haven't got there yet, but I'm hoping to work my way that way someday. Can't help but to share the memories on the walk, you know. Come out in this field and it was the same thing. All right, somehow I got to get over this fence without destroying it on the guy. I'm gonna crawl under there. All right, I ended up just going over it. I tried getting under it and got stuck halfway. Oh, all right. I used to watch the powered parachutes from up here too. A lot of them, probably 20 of them. Just flying this whole valley. You could see them for miles. It was just so cool. I wish he still did that. And there's another farm up there with the farmer I used to help out too. Knew this farmer I worked for. He's also passed away. Pretty much all the farmers I used to know are passed away. Actually, I think there's only a couple left. I used to go up, the farmer and me worked for used to make our rounds every Sunday, and we go and visit the other farmers around for 15 minutes to an hour. Used to stop and visit every day. Every Sunday, rather. This would be a nice spot to build a house, I tell you what. So nice up in here. Farmer used to let me mow this field too, because this was one of the easier fields to mow. All these fields here used to be cow pasture, and they'd get mowed and baled. And yes, he used to mow and bale the same pasture that the cows were in. A lot of people, I don't think, do that. They usually have fields that are dedicated for cows and dedicated for hay, and he kind of used his the same. And he actually knew several people in the area, just homeowners and stuff that owned a lot of property. He had a lot of connections, I guess you could say. He'd go down there and I used to go through here when I was younger, but I'm looking at this right now, and this is like a risk and reward thing. That looks like that would be a royal nightmare to try and get through here. Up to that other spot. I just don't know. I don't know if that's mowed or anything in there. That just looks like it's going to be a pain. That could easily turn into an hour just to get up there. I think I'm going to play it safe and go around. I'm going to go back this way. Go back this way. Just go down the perimeter. Try to go in an easier way. That could turn into a major hassle trying to get through that. All I have is today. You know, that actually doesn't look that bad once I get through there. You know, because it would be nice if I can get through there. I don't know. Guess maybe I'll chance it. You know, what's life without taking a chance? Let's take a chance. Let's go through here. I already regret it, but walking down there, I actually see the clearing, and you can't see it from here, but the clearing actually is closer than it looks. I think this hike is going to be a little treacherous, but all right, let's go for it. Let's go for it. If I start to get caught up in prickers, I'll turn around, but if I successfully go this way, I'm going to save a ton of time rather than going down and back up. save a lot of time, because it's not far. If you were able to fly, it's not far at all. But there is like a creek or something down here, I remember. And there it is. And this is the way I used to go all the time. Probably because the deer and animals think the same way. And animals make trails. And that's what we're on right now, an animal trail of some sort. I don't want to say it's deer because I'm sure it probably is deer. This guy has farm animals, horse, cows, sheep, other things, donkeys. And those of which I hope I don't encounter a mean one. He has animals of many different shapes and sizes that I'm sure come through here just as much as a deer do. We're actually almost there. Pushing my way through this. Luckily haven't really run into any prickers yet. This pasture that we're gonna come out in at some point is probably my favorite part of this entire land. We gotta go this way. There we go. This is probably my favorite part of this entire trip. Actually, more so than seeing my fort. Because this, to me, was the nicest place out of anything. It's right up in here. For whatever reason. Hey, you definitely got cows up in here because they're this is one of the areas I really like. I just hope I remember where I'm going and don't run into a pricker jam. I remember this area here was one of the areas I really liked being. You could see my parents' house. We're not far away. It seems far away because you're trekking through all this heavy brush, but you're really not that far away. I'm just hoping I didn't make a mistake coming through here. Yeah, that's pretty bad. All right, we're gonna find a different way. There's actually a cattle trail or something this way. We're gonna follow that. The field in which this is one of the areas which was really pretty, I always thought. It's all pretty. Guys, don't take this world for granted. Mother Nature is beautiful. In my opinion, the only thing that ain't pretty is the cities. But people gotta go somewhere, so it is what it is. It doesn't have to be here. Anywheres you go. This world is so many people that take this world for granted, including myself sometimes. It's such a nice place, such a nice planet we have to live. It's a shame to see the people that don't take care of it and abuse it. And I'm sure all you guys out there have a place that you'd like to share that just means a lot to you, such as this to me. This is just my story, I guess. Yeah, definitely think I made the right choice coming this way. That wouldn't have been fun going the other way. Yeah, all right, here we go. Yeah, all these apple kind of trees in here. This reminds me of my property. Yeah, I used to hang out here. I think that's one of the reasons I fell in love with my property so much, is because it reminds me a lot of this property in which that I used to hang out when I was a kid. So it brings back a lot of memories. You know what? Memories are everything. That's the only thing you can take with you. Alright. I forgot it was such a long walk to get to that other pasture. And I don't know if he mows this. There's just so much land back in here. Oh, there's part of the other pasture right there. Okay, so we still have some ground to cover. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, there's parts of this that remind me of my property that I really like. And I only have like 14 acres. This is like 400 acres. What we're gonna cover today ain't even. There's still a lot more to cover. At least I hope. I think this is where we're going. I might get a little bit screwed up. I'm not sure, because it's been a long time. Almost, I want to say the field I'm trying to get to is down there more. Hey, we'll take whatever we can get. Huh. It's weird. It's not where I thought I was going to come out, actually. Huh. I think we went the wrong way. Yeah, we did. This is not where I thought we were going to come out. Alright, well, I know where I am now. Somehow I gotta get through this fence here. That's gonna be a challenge. Yeah, this is totally not the field that I thought I was gonna come out in. The field I thought I was gonna come out in is down there much further. Oh man. Alright. We'll just have to keep plugging along. I'm gonna get over this fence here somehow. This is gonna be a tough one. This is barbed wire too. Oh, that was tough getting through that one. That was tough. Alright. Don't have any major cuts or any ripped clothes, so I was actually hoping not to come here, because now I gotta go through all this. We were gonna come up this direction anyway. I guess that's what happens when you haven't been somewheres. And this here, across the street, I was there like 15 years ago. Here, back here, I haven't been back here since I was a kid. I was about 16 when the farmer passed away, and I probably haven't been here since then, but just a deer I seen right in front of me. Yeah, this is definitely not, I don't think this is the field that I'm thinking. Well, this is all different too, you know. There's an electric fence here. I'm gonna go under that. I'm pretty sure this is, I'll know if it was at some point, but now I actually don't know if this is the field that I was saying that was really pretty. You know, again, when you're a kid, you remember things so much different than you do when you're an adult. Everything is much bigger and much more of an adventure than it is. Oh, I was really hoping not to have the truck do this. I don't think this is the field that I was hoping to get to. The field that I was hoping to get to, I think, is over there on the other side of them trees. But, well, keep plugging away here. It's all we can do. No, this actually isn't the field. No. There's an old school bus down there. Used to hang out in years and years and years ago. And I see it. You can't see it, but I can. So this is actually the next field over. But yeah, the field that I'm talking about is the other side of these. But oh, I think we finally found a trail, an animal trail. Oh, finally. Oh, look at that. But still, I used to hang out in this field. The farmer never used to let me brush hog this field because there's a lot of rocks, and I'm still seeing tons of rocks. And I actually remember one day when he was brush hogging back here, the brush hog actually hit a rock, and the rock, it shot the rock out of the front of it, and the rock hit the front tire on the tractor and bounced back and hit his knee, and did some pretty good damage to him, if I remember right. I don't think it broke anything, but it did. He wasn't able to walk for quite a while. Yeah. New battery. Ran out of battery. Yeah, the farmer wasn't able to walk for a while. He got his knee hurt pretty bad by that, so that was one of the reasons why he never let me do anything back here. Back then I used to get mad at him. Like, I don't know why he never lets me do anything fun. I don't know why he never lets me do anything fun. I used to get so mad. Now, being older, now I understand and appreciate that more than anything. When you're a kid, you just don't know. There's a lot of people that, you know, now tractors have a lot of safety stuff. Little bit of a gory detail now that I'm here. All the cows that passed away for whatever reason, whether it be a sickness or fell or whatever it was, he used to have a guy that came and got them for dog food. However, that guy wasn't always accessible, and somewheres between like here and there, he actually used to drag them. It was like the same spot, and there was, you know, I only worked, you know, for him, I don't even know. It actually wasn't as long as I thought it was, but seems like a long time. A few years. I think it was like 8 years or something. I helped him out, 8 or 10 years or something like that. I'm not even sure. But he used to drag them up here. and lay him to rest. So there's a lot of cow souls joining us in this area for sure. But yeah, he used to not let me do a lot of things just because I wasn't old enough yet. And now I understand. I wouldn't let a young kid run my skid steer, and a lot of them tractors didn't have the, that's what I was saying. A lot of tractors didn't have the safety stuff that today's do. And that actually happened a lot when if you got hit in the head with a rock from a brush hog, you got knocked out and fell off that tractor. That tractor would just run right over you and just keep on going until something happened, whether it hit a tree or went off a cliff or somebody stopped it or whatever. Is men back then are different than men nowadays, myself included. We are spoiled on technology, absolutely spoiled on technology. The vehicles we have today versus back then are just so much different. I don't want to say better. They're better and worse. All right. So I guess I just have to go a little bit different way than what I had planned on originally. Okay. There's a power line trail. Them smaller power lines that were across the street. You'll remember earlier in the video, I had a hard time crossing the path, the smaller ones. So they actually come way back in here to this area. And there's a really cool river that I want to go check out that I used to hang out at, and part of a snowmobile trail. This, where we are, actually used to be the snowmobile trail. Penn Mountain State Forest snowmobile trail or something. But the farmer that bought the farm up there that I used to help after he passed away, and actually he sold it to somebody else now, so 2 owners ago. But anyway, he didn't want the snowmobilers going through his property, so he didn't, because they were being disrespectful, which totally understandable. Some of them guys I wouldn't want them going through my land. So disrespectful. And basically the snowmobile trail got abandoned. Yeah, this actually used to be the snowmobile trail. If anyone here is watching this that used to go through here, who knows? Oh, this is bad right here. Oh, I'm gonna get my feet wet. Alrighty. I'd rather cross a gate than a fence. Oh man, this is so much different than I remember it. This thing's pretty darn cool. That's pretty cool. All right. Somebody's hunting shack. That snowmobile trail used to go down gate. You actually go, man. I just can't remember. Used to come. That gate is the snowmobile trail. I just can't remember exactly where that used to go. I believe this is it. I think. It's so darn grown up. I don't even recognize any of this. Because back the last time I was over here, that snowmobile trail was still open. This is totally different. All these damn prickers. I think this is it though. No. Oh, there ain't no way that's it. Huh? I don't know. I can't really remember. Actually. There's no way this is it. This is way too abandoned to be. Yeah, this is way too abandoned to be snowmobile trail. Like it wasn't that long ago that this got shut down. Yeah, we're in the wrong neighborhood. Okay. I'll just keep going this way. I know about where I am anyway. It doesn't really matter. Pretty much know where I'm going to come out. Because the snowmobile trail was... This farmer owned much of the snowmobile trail. Yeah, I can't remember exactly where it is. And we're just going to keep plugging along till I'll run into it eventually. Because it intercepts with the power line trail. Power lines are coming right up, so at some point we're gonna cross paths here. I remember this is another place I didn't want to end up, because this always used to be Pricker Bush Alley up here. Where these power lines go. I'll just have to keep on going through it. This definitely is not the snowmobile trail that I was hoping to be on. Oh well. Makes it more interesting. Here is the snowmobile trail. There we go. Okay. Ow, prickers. Damn. Okay. There's the snowmobile trail. Okay. Now I remember. I had to come out that gate and go to the left. Yep. Come out the gate, go to the left. I was gonna say, it hasn't been that long since that snowmobile trail got closed down. We're gonna come back out this way too. So we'll come out and we'll check the school bus out. I used to hang out in, see what's cooking there. Can actually see it on top of that hill where we came out, where I came out at that one thing. Okay, here's the power lines. There we go. Another cool little shack. Yeah, because they just came through about 2 years ago and they painted all these. Here we go. Here's the power lines. I thought these things were pretty cool too. Actually, that one there where the pole is, that used to be one of those four-legged ones. And I thought that was the coolest thing. It was actually like one of the first ones I've ever, like when I was younger, I wasn't really allowed to go across the road, but I was allowed to come back here. And I remember coming back. We'll try to go around that way because that's actually on the other side of a fence, and it always has been. That was like the first one I ever came up next to and thought that was the coolest thing in the world. That it was a four-legged, that it was different than the rest of them. That's why I thought it was cool, because it was different. But at some point, I think it was like 10 years ago, they took that one out and replaced it with a wooden pole. Imagine probably because it was rotted or something. That is a pretty cool shack right here. Huh, that's a nice spot. If this was my property, I'd have a little shack everywhere. All right. Follow the footsteps of my youth. I remember this was actually pretty hard to get through here when I was younger. But they just said they just came through and painted these towers a couple years ago, so imagine they probably sent a company like that other one out to brush hog a trail and clean, so it'd be easy for the crew to get up in there. There's a lot of land back here that the farmer used to own. See how their paint jobs they're holding up. They used like a brush that was like a foot wide and just like loaded it on. These were always like really rusty. Looks like they really loaded it on. That's like some kind of like tar or something. Like that's more like a tar than a paint. It's like, huh. These were always really rusty though. They just painted right over it. Ground cable. Pretty cool. We're definitely burning daylight here. I had some errands to do this morning and wanted to get out here earlier, but pulled the trigger and said, you know what, today's the day. It's probably the last time I'm going to have to do this, so. Beautiful day, a little windy, but it's not bad in the woods. Wouldn't really want to be out in the field, but alright. Coming up on the creek here that I was talking about. I always thought this was so cool back in here. There's always a bunch of trails and all that stuff. just what I remember. This tower here and the one on the other side has guide wires on it, because those lines go straight down almost. So they need these to take the weight off of it. And that one there they actually replaced too. That used to be that wasn't a four-legged one, but that used to be a two-legged one. Another cool hunting shack here. Okay, so this isn't so mowed down. I remember it was always kind of a pain to get down here. There's a creek down here. Wow, this is actually really wet. However, I don't know how ambitious I'm feeling right now. I still got a bunch of ground I want to cover, and we'll try it. I want to make the most out of it. Ouch. It's gonna suck. Completely stuck now. Ow. I remember this was always kind of a pain to get down in here. Even more of a pain to try to get out. Go back up through that crap. Yeah, I guess it's not as bad as it looks. Oh no, this ain't too bad. Alright. This ain't too bad. Alright, I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to go into the woods. There we go. Man, it's much easier to navigate through the woods. Alright. And there's just so much more I'd like to see down here. You can go all the way past here and stuff. Alright, so we're at the bottom. This used to be a steel one too. That must have been fun to get back here. Put that up. Oh man. You know, once I get on the other side of this, it's home free too. That sucks. Gotta try to get in them woods somehow. Get out of this crap. But it ain't gonna be easy. There's just so many prickers. I'm just gonna have to deal with it and take some battle scars home with me. Ow. Man. Ugh. Hurts. Oh, really? Okay, this was never here. Barbed wire fence. It'll be fun getting over this. Barbed wire, but we got prickers too. They're just eating me alive. Alright. Alright, we made it over the fence. We're almost out of the... I want to say we're almost out of the woods, but... almost in the woods. That's usually not a good thing. Saying that you're almost in the woods. Ow. Clothes are going to be shredded. Alright. Little creek is back here. Kind of running out of steam. But we're gonna get there. We made it this far. I'd suck to twist an ankle back in here. There's the creek. Wow. That's crazy. This used to... I guess it's still flowing. I always remembered this to flow more. Whew. This used to flow a lot more, I always remembered. But it's been pretty dry. Made it. Oh. There. Now that we're on the other side of the prickers here, now we can come through here. So pretty down in here. There's actually more trails that go along through here. If you follow this, I've actually followed this creek years ago, and it actually comes out down at the main highway. I mean, it's probably at least about a mile and a half hike, I'd say. But this does actually come out to the main highway, and that if you get up there, there's more trails. But the farmer owns, I believe, to the top of that hill, and that's the property line. And I don't know who owns the other property on top of that, so I don't know who owns a lot of these properties anymore versus years ago. I don't know if their families still do and not, but if I went on them, I'd definitely want to seek permission to try to figure out who owns them. But never really explored too much on the other side of that hill up there. It was mostly from here back, but this is the creek I always used to come down to on this side. We finally made it. Just come down here and take your shoes off, stick your feet in the water on a hot day. By the time you got back here, you definitely earned it. Of course, I'm stepping in the water. It's so peaceful, you can't really... The main highway's right down the other side, but you could barely hear it. So we're probably a mile and a half, couple miles up, I'd say, from that. So you could barely hear the highway. But this just goes, I don't even know. I've never followed it up that way, so I don't know where it comes out actually. But we still got a lot more exploring to do as far as my childhood paths. So that's the mission of this video. So we're just gonna keep the mission. Maybe sometime in the future we'll come back here and see what's up that way, but I don't know as though I care that much, so kind of cool to find out. Yeah, this is easier than going through that other stuff. This is pretty dense, but this is a lot easier than going through them prickers. Definitely getting tired out though, I could tell you that. Oh, another fence. Alright. This one's easy though. Okay. Yeah, there's the power line clearing again. That versus the woods. Yeah, we're going up through the woods, man. Through that brush. I remember that now. I always used to go through the woods to get down there. I'd follow the power line trail. And then when it came time to go up and down this hill, I'd dip off in the woods somewhere to one side. You can go down the other side of the woods too. Oh, man. This is kicking my ass, I tell you. Wow. Man. What a freaking mud. Oh. Should have brought a bottle of water with me. That was a mistake. I got my pockets full of GoPro batteries. And then I got a hat light in my other pocket. Skull. Some kind of skull, a deer or something. Wow. Alright. Old asthma's kicking in now. Alright, here we go. And we're at the top again. You know what? This was all logged too at one time. So there's a lot of trails here that are old logging trails. This property was logged several times just over my lifetime. So I'm sure it was logged way more than that. Man, huh. Crazy. All right. Yeah, from what I remember, most of this trail was a lot like the hill part. It was grown up a lot. So this is actually, I was actually expecting more of a fight to get to where we went. There always used to be like deer paths and stuff you could follow, but this actually ain't too bad. And it's fall too. That's the reason I wanted to plan this trip in the fall. Mosquitoes and stuff like that are starting to die off. A lot of this crap's starting to die off, so you're not trekking through. I used to come back here in all times of the year. There's a Floyd fire whistle that you hear. Floyd Fire Department. What time is it? No. It usually goes off at certain hours. I think it goes off at noon and 7 o'clock. Yeah, what am I thinking, 7 o'clock? I think it's dark at 7 o'clock now. Still got another hour. These woods are just so cool. They're just so clean. Everybody's against logging. These woods here were all logged 20 plus years ago. They took a lot of the bigger stuff out to let the smaller stuff grow, and just look at how clean and just neat it is in there. It's not all grown up like where we just came up through to get up that hill. Logging is good if it's done right. Unfortunately, it's a lot of the butchers that ruin it for everyone. And this trail goes all the way down to the main road. There's like a gas station that it comes out at. I would love to follow that trail down there, but I actually got my army truck stuck down in there years ago. Had to have a bulldozer pull it out. That wasn't fun. When I went in that other place, that other spot up here, I'm like, I thought it was the trail at first, but after that I'm like, there ain't no way that this trail got grown up that much in just, you know, under 10 years. I'm pretty sure that was about 10 years ago or so that farmer said no more, because I know a lot of the locals around here were pissed off. Farmer said, nope, no more snowmobile trail on my property. Those guys, you know, the farmers and the property owners letting people ride their snowmobile are doing a favor. They don't have to do any of that. So always make sure you're respectful. Stay on the trail. Don't tear it all up. There's a lot of disrespectful people, and that ruins it for everyone. And that's exactly what happened. There was a lot of pissed off people. I remember that. That was a big deal, because this was a main path from the big road, the main road up north. This is like one of the main trails. That really threw a wrench in the cake for a lot of people. Okay. Yeah, this would have been much easier to come through. I remember now. It was always more this way than I thought it was. I made that mistake again. I'm like, man, I know it's not over that way. All right, we're starting to make our way back home now. Yeah, this has always been a really nice area back in here. This is all so much different than what I remember. Yep, there's the hunting shack. There's the gate we climbed over right to the right of that. So we went that way. We were supposed to come this way and go down there. I remember that now. For some reason, I thought you went the other way. That's what you get for thinking. All right, now we're gonna go find the school bus. It looks like we have a cornfield to go through. Okay, and there's the other pasture over there through the trees that I said was really pretty. All right, what's the best way to get up through here? I'm tired of climbing over fences, so I'd rather just walk around and use the gate. I don't want to destroy any of the guys' stuff either. See, this never used to be a cornfield either. Used to come back here and cut wood all the time. A lot of these trees up here we cut a lot of wood. Oh yeah, there's the field right there that I always thought was really cool. You never used to be able to get to that field from where we are now. There's another opening up there that we used to be able to use, but we'll go check out the school bus first. We actually could have went through the woods where we were on the power line trail, but I really wanted to check. I really wanted to come this way. We'll get to see that field again. Just have to go the other way first. Gates are a lot easier to go through than fences. Alright. That's cool. They're harvesting the corn. That makes it a little easier to come through here. Alright. I'm not about to go through the corn, no. We'll go around. That's easier. Sun's setting. And we're losing daylight quick. For sure, for sure. There we go. Pretty cool trail. This is really cool. I love corn mazes, corn trails. That is really neat. squirrels stocking up on some corn. Birds scaring everything away. All right. All right, here we are finally. It used to be one of those four-legged towers right here where this pole is. And I thought it was so cool. And they replaced it with a darn pole. You know, I remember years ago, obviously everything is years ago, but I remember that the tower used to be here, and you know, I kicked myself in the butt for not grabbing a couple. They replaced a bunch of the insulators and they threw them here, and the hole underneath of that tower was all old insulators from it, like those style. And they were like the suspension ones, and they were like the clear glass, like the blue glass ones. And there used to be a huge pile of them right here underneath this tower that used to be here. And I kicked myself in the butt for not grabbing them. I was always worried I was going to get in trouble. You know what? They obviously threw them there because they were junk. And they actually weren't under the tower. They were actually all over the place. This is like their dumping ground for insulators. Most of them were under the tower, but there was, I'm kind of looking around to see if I could spot any, but yeah, there was tons of them. I was worried that I was going to get in trouble if I grabbed one. I'll tell you what, looking back, I wish I did. Wish I grabbed a few. They were obviously there because they got thrown out. They didn't need them. Threw them off to the side. Probably would have been doing them a favor to clean their mess up. I would have thought they'd take them, but it was really cool. Looks like deer or something coming here. Oh, this corn's knocked down. School bus is over here somewhere. You've seen it from up on the hill. I know it's right around the bend somewhere. We're gonna be coming right up on it. Coming right up on it at some point. A bunch of deer. Gotta keep on going. It's further than what I thought it was. I know that. I actually thought it was more in this corner, but they did a lot of clearing and stuff too, so these fields aren't the same shape that they used to be. I know over the years they've been back here a lot with machinery, bulldozers and excavators and stuff like that, and they did a ton of expanding for their crops. Like, so where I am now actually could have been woods years ago, so I think that's why I'm getting thrown off a lot on a lot of this, because to a farmer the woods are pretty much useless unless you're hunting and stuff, but it's the field, so I can definitely see why they would tear the fields apart, or tear the woods apart to make field. I didn't realize that was this far. I'm starting to wonder like if I walked by it, but I know I didn't, because it wasn't like it was buried in the woods. It was like right at the edge. I know we're gonna walk right around the corner and there it's gonna be somewhere. It's so weird that I seen it from the top of that hill. I thought it was back there. I was wrong. Where the heck is it? It ain't that far in the woods. And I know darn well that's what I seen was the school bus. It wasn't anything else. That's weird. They must have moved it, because I thought it was in here. You know what? It might not even have been in this field for all I know. Actually, now I'm starting to wonder if it was in the other field. Yeah, we'll find it eventually. I have to find it though, because that's part of this trip. I have to find it. Man, I hope I didn't walk around that field for nothing. It's gotta be in this field. There's no way we just walked by it. Yeah, we'll find it. I'm actually wondering if I actually seen the school bus, or if it was something else I seen and that's what I thought it was. That's odd. You know what? I think it might have been in that pasture and I thought it was this pasture. Alright, we'll find it. We'll find it. I could have swore it was back in that corner though. Now I'm wondering. Guess all we could do is just enjoy the hike. Guess that's what happens when you haven't been somewheres in 24 years. Oh. Yeah, we totally just walked around that field for nothing. Alright. I think it's there's another field similar to this that is that way. And I'm thinking that's probably actually where it is. I thought it was back there, but I done messed up. No big deal. That really baffles me. I am starting to wonder if I walked right past it and didn't even realize, because I could have swore that it was there. Yeah, I could just simply edit this clip out, but it's part of the journey. No big deal. Literally walked all the way around that cornfield. Huh. All right. Really hope I didn't walk by it and not notice. It might have been in my best interest to climb up one of them hunting stands. I'm telling you, I could have swore that was back in that corner. They must have moved it. They had to have moved it. I mean, it was on wheels. It was totally movable. They had to have moved it. This is way different. This is all new. This is completely different than it was. Wow. Oh yeah. This is nothing like I remember this being. This pond was non-existent. This was actually a really deep down and up. Like that, it was, and there was just a culvert. This is a pond now. That's pretty cool. I'm getting confused because things are so much different than they were. And there's that night pasture up there. All right, I actually think I see the school bus. No, I don't. Where? You gotta be kidding me. I'm like really confused. I don't get it. I thought I seen it. This is like playing a trick on me or something. I don't get it. There's that really cool pasture I thought I was going to come out in before. But I am like bound and determined to find the school bus. I thought I seen it. When I was on that hill, I thought I seen that school bus. I am so confused right now. This is turning into be quite the adventure. Okay. I thought maybe it's in this corner here. But it's not. I'm gonna come over here first because I'm gonna go through that other field again if it's not in this field. I'm pretty sure he told me that was still back there. There's a chance that it might be over here, but I'm like positive that it was in that other field. And I know I seen it when we were on that hill for the 100th time. This is nuts. I am definitely putting in some work on this, because we're gonna have to come all the way back through here again. I just want to make sure I'm not going nuts and it's not over here. Nope. What? You gotta be kidding me. Nothing. All right. We're gonna find it. I must have walked right past it. I had to have walked right past that. When we were walking around that cornfield, I had to have walked right past it and not even noticed. How? Either that or it's gone. I talked to this guy quite a... I didn't ask him about it today when I asked permission to come back here. But I think a couple of years ago, I asked him, I was like, hey, because he used to camp out in that and stuff. Get your buddies, go back there, camp out, have fun. That thing was cool too. It had like a deck thing on top that you can go on. There is no way I can't believe I can't find that. Guys, I apologize if we don't see it. We've been on a wild goose chase, because that's really gonna suck. I mean, this is still cool, but I still want to go through that other pasture yet before it gets too dark. And I still want to take some time and explore to check the school bus out. I am stumped, seriously. Like, I can't believe that I can't find it. My feet are like rubber right now. I'm like, I am drained. I can't believe this. That is so crazy. I can't find that. We're going back towards that other cornfield now. I'm confident we walked by it. I walked by it. Didn't even see it. Like, that's nuts. I have no idea how that happened. I am bound and determined to find that darn thing now. If I didn't see that, this is gonna be fun. If I didn't see that on top of that hill, I don't know what I seen, because it looked just like a yellow thing, and it actually looked like it was out in the field. Look at all these rocks. Oh man, here we are again. Oh, I'm gonna go in the woods here, see if I can see it. It was pushed into the woods a little bit, but not much. I don't see it. Where is it? This is insane. I can't believe it. I'm confident that I walked by it. I'm chugging along now. I'm getting tired. Oh man. I still had a bunch of work to do on my duster. I don't know. I should take a nice long break. Alright, let's keep our eyes peeled here. Maybe they might have pulled it in the middle of this field somewhere. There's a chance. It was pushed into the woods, but not that far. Oh, man. Where did it go? This was kind of hard to get through, too. I really didn't want to come through here again. I remember it being in this corner. This is nuts. You guys are probably tired of listening to my over and over and over and over again speech. I'm gonna be so disappointed if I can't find that. Where is it? Again, I thought it was down there. There's no way that I missed it. They must have taken it out and scrapped it if I missed it. Which I wouldn't think they would have. They moved it. My guess. I'd be able to see it from the trail. I know that. From this field, I'd be able to see it. Unreal. I remembered it was in this back corner somewhere. Somewhere's in here. Somewhere's in this back corner. There it is. It's way in the woods now. I just spotted it. Wow. Finally. I walked right by the damn thing. That never used to be that far in the woods. Ow. Oh wow, yeah, this definitely got pushed into the woods more, I think. And I know at least I thought I seen it. Alright. I walked right by it. Either that or the woods grew up around it. Maybe that's what it was. Wow. Look at this. Oh, this thing's in shambles. All the windows are smashed out. Wow. All the windows are all broke. Definitely not how I remember it. Old International Lodestar. Lodestar front end. Oh yeah, this got like beat up. Somebody's taking the motor apart. There's pieces all over the place. Air cleaner. Wow. This thing is... Oh wow. Oh, this thing is wasted. Man. This thing actually used to be in good shape. This is crazy. It's like the same steering wheel that's in my International. That shifter is just solid. Man. The doors actually still work. Ah. That's wicked. Old tachograph. That's all busted up. Some people actually like them. Man, this thing is... I don't remember this thing being so screwed up. That's crazy because that's literally the same steering wheel and everything that's on my old International. Same shifter. Probably the same transmission that used to be in it. There used to be a wood stove in here too. I don't know if I dare open this. There's actually nothing in there. Ooh, this floor is soft. Wow. Yeah, this thing got busted up a lot. Man. Used to be able to open up these hatches and go up on top, but whew, I'm too old and lazy to do that anymore. Man, it's a shame that this got all busted up. This was cool. Oh, that is soft. Ooh. Let's see what the engine looks like. Used to have, I remember it used to be a big old V8, big old International. There's the foot actually still open. Wow. Look at that. Big old International V8. Carburetor's taken off. Actually some good parts on this thing, if hydraulic brakes though, so that kind of sucks. Big old International V8. Cool, man. Really cool. Radiator's gone. I don't remember the radiator being gone. I remember the radiator was in this. I'm pretty darn sure. This got all taken apart. Huh. I wouldn't mind getting a hold of that motor, but I'm sure that motor is garbage. That'd be pretty cool to put that in a duster and look finding parts for it. Hat light here. Kind of curious to. It's probably a good motor. I don't really know what International was. Like what cubic inch. Probably. Well, the straight 6 in my International was a 500. And I think it was actually a 500. 500 even. And this thing's wasted underneath. Junk. It was a 500 cubic inch, so this is probably a, I don't even know, probably like a 560 something. Tell you what, I bet you that's the same exact transmission that was in my International. 5-speed. Just a regular 5-speed, and it had a really, really weird shifting pattern too. Man, I want to check this thing out, but we got some ground to cover. There's actually some pretty useful parts in here. Power steering pump. Man, nothing too valuable, but you know, it'd be useful for somebody wanting to build something. Cool. All right, well, one thing I want to check. I am really curious to see if there's a shift pattern somewhere on this. Shift pattern, where would a shift pattern be? It'd be on the dash somewhere, or on the shift knob, but that's gone. Actually, it looks like it was on the shift knob and it's missing now. Damn. My International was a real weird shift pattern. I think it was, I don't even know what it was. It was really weird. It wasn't like anything you were used to. And this actually had the old wig-wag things on it, I remember. Those are all broke now. That sucks. A lot of people are trying to get a hold of them nowadays, those wig-wags. Freaking bullet holes and everything. Look at that. Man. Oh well. Well, there's the old school bus. Finally found it. Alright, well, it's getting dark. There's you used to be able to get up on that. There ain't no way I'm getting up there now. That's dangerous. That looks dangerously dangerous. I used to be able to go through them hatches, but there's probably so much crap up there you can't even get through it. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Been here for a long time. All right. Shut the light off. All right, let's figure out how to get out of here. We got one more field to explore. And going home. That's way, maybe it was, I don't know. You know what, honestly, I think that was back this far. I just walked right by it. But look at though, no, it wasn't. Okay, here's the original fence. Yep, there's the original fence right there. It went along, yep. There's the original fence. It went this way, right straight through, and there's the school bus. Now, there's the fence. Okay. All right, so nothing's changed. Just the fence line has changed. Yep, that's what it was. Who would have known? It's right there too. You can't see it. We walked right by it. That's because the fence line came out. Actually, at an angle. Actually, the fence line right where it is now is probably 30 or 40 feet difference from the old one. And there's the bus. And actually, where we were, you could look straight through and see it in the woods. I knew I seen the bus. I did. That's exactly what I seen where we were on the hill. And it was in the same spot that I've always seen it from, because I remember when you came up in that exact spot where we were, you could see that bus. I was convinced that I was seeing things. I thought that I seen it. I mean, I couldn't make it up. It was as clear as day. As clear as day, I seen that. Huh. Alrighty then. We are burning daylight now. I wasted a lot of time looking for that. Alright. Yeah, here's the pole again. We literally went around this entire field twice. Well, I'm gonna keep the camera rolling now. Way 20 years from now I can watch this video and say, yep, that's what it took to find the old school bus. Video is probably gonna be like 2 hours long. Longest video ever. I could just edit this out, but I want to remember. I want to remember what it took. Okay, that was it though. Finally found a darn school bus. Man, unreal. That was... Alright. I wasn't gonna stop without looking for it. If it took all night to find it, I would have explored my backup plan. My plan B was I was actually going to, if I couldn't find it, I was going to come back, explore this, walk this field that I thought was really cool, and then after I got everything done, I was going to come back, and I was either going to find it or it was gone. And there's a chance they might have scrapped it, because there's probably a few $1,000 sitting there between the aluminum and steel and all that, but it would be hard to get out of here unless you got like a bulldozer or something to, something really big and powerful to pull that thing out of here. It would be tough to get that out. Alright, here's the gate for the third time, or the fourth time. Alright, there. That's the last time I gotta go over that stupid gate. My legs are rubber. I've actually kind of been walking every day because I've been trying to prepare myself for this trip. I said this year is going to be the year. Probably for the last 5 years I've been wanting to do this. And I said this year I'm going to do it. This guy's told me for the last 5 years I could do this, or even more. He's like, go back there anytime, just ask. Just let me know you're back there. But it just never had time. I've actually been walking quite a bit, a little bit every day, to basically try to get myself in shape to do this, because I knew this was going to be kind of tough. Okay, so see, this is all different here. Yeah, this is all way different. Well, not much. There always used to be a fence there and a fence there, but this was never here. And then that was a big ravine. I remember when I was just old enough to lift them feeders up. What we used to do is lift them feeders up, put the round bale underneath of it, and then flip it back down. And I guarantee it, these are the same ones that were here when I was a kid. Because why would they have moved? And they look like they're that old too, so. I remember when I was able to lift that up over my head for the first time, it was a really, like a milestone. Yeah, that's the corner over there. I thought if the bus, maybe it's over there, but I was like, no, it was in that other field. Yeah, I was right. Just back further than I thought. See, we're getting close to the barn now. Getting close to home. Farmer, he used to call this the lane. This went all the way back. Here is the pasture that I said is really cool, that I always thought was pretty. I was hoping to come in here when the sun was still up. Before, I was planning on coming out at the top of that. That's where I thought I was going to come out. Was at the very top of that. But I kind of missed a step and went quite a bit further than I expected to. Still going to try to venture up there a little bit. Okay. Here we are, we're in the night pasture. He called this the night pasture because he always used to put the cows in here at night after the second milking. Milked the cows once at like 5 a.m. and then the cows got milked again around 2 or 3 p.m. and the milking didn't get done till about 5 o'clock. And then after 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he'd put the cows in here most times. The other one over there called the day pasture, and this is called the night pasture. They were over there in the daytime. I can't remember what his reasoning for that was. I just remember that's what he did. Man, I really wanted to come in here when the sun was still out. I don't know why, but this has always been something really cool to me. I always thought this was really pretty, this field here. Whew. I should have built a fort up here, but you know, after you start to become a teenager, things aren't fun anymore. Most of what I'm referring back to as pre-teenager years, you know, probably 13 or 14. I don't even think I was, no, I think I was like 12, maybe 13 when I kind of gave up the whole being a kid thing and started getting more serious about, you know, working, and more work and less play, I guess. The toys didn't really mean anything anymore. The forts didn't really mean anything anymore. They were still cool. They were still a place to hang out. Don't get me wrong. They just weren't as important. Yeah, here it is. We finally made it here. Guess I saved the best for last. You know what? I thought I was gonna come out up there, but I came out down here instead, so what can I say? I don't really know where I want to go from here. I don't know if I feel like going through the woods anymore today. I think I'm just gonna go back down and take the path out. That would be the easiest thing to do. Because from what I remember, there is no easy way to get from this field to that field. Never used to be anyway. Covered a lot of ground. Yeah, there's like no easy way to get over here. Oh man, I'm really getting tired now. And then I gotta try to get over this fence again. It actually don't look that bad to get up over that. I really don't. Well, not the fence, the ravine here. It actually don't look too bad. Just getting over this fence. If I can get over there, maybe I will. I gotta figure out how to get over this fence though. This fence isn't going to be easy to get over. This is going to be a hard one. I really don't want to break the guy's stuff up either. Actually, I used to hang out on this tree stand if it's the same one. I don't see why it wouldn't be. There actually used to be a couple tree stands in this field. I think that's one of them. This fence was never here. There's another one. The fence was actually over there in the center of those woods more. All right. We got over it. Now we're committed. Oh man, I tell you. Oh, I'm gonna be feeling it. Yeah, this was all one big pasture. That fence was never there. So it's kind of confusing to look at it now. It's crazy how things change. Yeah, that is one of the tree stands I used to hang out in, which makes sense. It's dilapidated. It looks like it's 20 some odd years old plus. So why wouldn't it be? All right, we're just gonna go through these woods, and then this is somewheres in here was where I was expecting to come out when we started this voyage. Actually, this don't look too bad. Don't say that too loud. Now it's starting to get dark. Now I can't see where I'm going as much. It's going to turn into a riot here in a minute. And I fall and tangled up in pricker bushes. I know this farmer here has a lot of sheep and stuff like that too that are constantly roaming back here. So where the farmer that I worked for, he just had simply cows, and that's all he had. Just cows only. So I would imagine the sheep probably keep these smaller areas more controlled, I guess, because this was never this easy to get through. We're not there yet. We're making our way. Trees got like thorns on them. Freaking prickers. I've had enough of prickers for one day. Come on, man. Oh. Ouch. Alright, we're making progress. We're making progress. Alright. Yeah, I was just up too far when I went to the other one. That's what the issue was. I was up much further than I had to be to get into that other pasture. I think years ago you were able to get in there that way. But as you can see, the fence lines changed pretty drastically, which tricked me several times into thinking I was somewhere else. I remember this was always pretty open though. Oh, yeah, this has never been easy to get through here. Ouch. Ah, there's a house right there. I just gotta get back there. Oh, I got one more fence to climb. Climb any more fences, man. And then when you get hung up, it's really fun. Oh, when you're tired. All right, we made it. The road is right there. I'm just gonna go out this way. He's got livestock that's fenced in down there. I'm just gonna go out this way. It'd be so much easier. Oh, man. I'm definitely ready for a break. I'm glad I kind of trained a little bit every day for this. There's a view now. When we first came into this side of the road, I was up there, like that tree line. There's that farm, if you remember. So we're kind of in the same ballpark area. All right. It's crazy. I filmed this entire video on a battery and a half. I had about 60% battery in my first battery, and I'm about 20% now in my second battery. I brought 2 more batteries with me, so we could have kept going for another. And I've videotaped pretty much the whole time. I stopped 3 or 4 times just to kind of take a little break and sit down and reminisce on the times a little bit and kind of just soak in the peace and quiet. But other than that, it's been rolling the whole time. Nice moon tonight. The last couple of days here, the aurora has been happening, northern lights. I don't know if it's going to happen again tonight. I think last night was like one of the last nights of it, they said, so. Haven't really been able to see it that much though. It's been really cloudy, and of course tonight it's super clear out tonight. And tonight it's not supposed to happen. So that kind of stinks. I seen a little bit of it though. Oh, I was hoping there'd be a gate here. Oh, alright, whatever. If I gotta go over one more fence, then I guess that's gonna be the last one. Oh man, another fence. Whoa. Oh, okay, this ain't gonna be too bad. Hopefully. I think I could just squeeze right through here. I can. Good. Just put that back the way I found it. This is where I break my leg when we're done. All right, there it is. Oh man, there it is. And it is dark. Definitely a good time to be out of the woods. It would be pretty much pitch black in the woods right now. All right, well, I'm just taking my little trip back home here. So that's it, guys. I hope you didn't get too bored trying to find the school bus and joining me through this entire thing. A lot of you probably fast forwarded through a lot of it, but if you stuck around the whole time, I really appreciate it. I mean, this trip meant more to me than it did anybody else. This was for me anyway, and putting it on YouTube was mostly just to document it for me, as I stated before, just so I can look at it again and reminisce on the good old days, I guess. But it was really exciting to find out all the things that you know, the current status of my forts, and just seeing how things have changed over the last 20 some odd years and all that. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. And I mean, I just gotta say this, it's sad that I have to say this kind of stuff, but if any of the locals watch me and see this, you know, this wasn't an invitation for people just to go gallivanting on someone else's property. I got permission to do this, so just have respect. And just because I went on the property doesn't mean somebody else can. You know, same reason the snowmobile trail got closed down. But all right, well, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching High Voltage Diesel. Take care.